Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of the Professor's Picks alongside the man himself, the Professor of Prog, Mr. Ken Golden. What's going on, my
Good
friend?
afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me play with my camera. Let's see. I don't know if that's any better, but anyway, I think I'm off center, but I'm off center, so
Yeah, you're
I guess.
kind of in the middle, and that stack of pattern-seeking animals vinyl is still in the same place it was
Yeah, but
last.
you notice, I don't know if you
It's
notice, it is
smaller.
smaller.
It's small. Yes,
That's
it
all
is.
I care. That's all I care about. Honestly, that's all I care about. So I do have some cool stuff back over there for next week.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's some good, I'll just, I mean, it's not a secret. These street next week. We got Tick Talika, Charlie Griffiths, Tick Talika, and we got the vinyl in there. John Anderson and the Band of Geeks. This is all for next week. John spent the money. He got a nice cover. Anyway, that's all. That's all next week pre-order. So if you're on the fence, get your order in now. So yeah, because we got a lot of guys. When they do these pre-orders, I don't understand it. They like to come in like at the last minute. It doesn't serve anybody because we base our inventory off of the pre-orders.
Right.
So so we've had situations where guys come in like literally like the day before we're going to start packing this stuff, and it's like they get shut out until we restock.
Yeah,
So
because basically everything you're bringing in is what the pre-orders were, and once those are
yeah,
all gone, there's nothing left, right?
yeah. So but we got guys, and then you ask them, they're like Eric Porter. They hate the pre-order. Well, if you don't like the pre-order, that's cool, but you just don't complain to me if you get shut out on something. It happens. It does happen.
So is
So
the John Anderson, is that on Frontiers again?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the Tiktaalik is Inside Out, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, yes. The John Henson looks nice.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks very nice. And yeah, we have the vinyl on it. And yeah, well, I mean, that's all for next week. And I got to tell you, before we start getting into this week, next week, I was going to have like the most insane week. And I had the strangest thing happen with FedEx. They screwed me up. So next week might be not bad, potentially unbelievable. So, but I don't know. So I had this really strange thing where we created shipping labels for a shipment coming over from the UK, and one of the labels was missing. So I had to cancel the order. Go through. It's very odd. It's not even an interesting story, but but anyway, it's delaying the shipment. So if I can get it here in time, it'll be in next week's update. If not, it'll be the week after. But we got other cool things coming. Got those pentagram reissues coming.
Oh, very
Remember you
nice.
said to me about pentagram?
Yep.
So I know, I never thought I'd ever be selling pentagram.
Hey,
My mo- yeah,
great bands.
my mother.
For all you, yeah, for everybody watching, just a little bit of history behind this whole conversation. So, Ken and I are both fans of the Heavy Psych Sounds label, and Ken has sold, a decent amount of Heavy Psych Sounds releases over the years. So I keep very close track of what they're doing over there, and I'm a big Pentagram fan. So I saw that Pentagram signed with them not only for the release of their new album, which is Lightning in the Bottle, which we've shown before, but here it is right here.
Yeah, got
They
copies coming.
also are reissuing, if not all, a good chunk of the Pentagram back catalog, which
Yeah.
much of it is out of print. And they do a great job on these reissues. So are you bringing all of them in, or as many of
I
there?
don't know. Whatever I saw that was available, and I'm not going crazy, with them. I mean, we'd sell some doom metal and stuff, but it's not our forte,
Right.
But I'll have pentagram. I said my mother would have been so proud, you know, if she was.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
There you go. Well, yeah, you asked, and I have access to it. So,
Yeah,
and
I think
we
we
get
have
that
we have
label.
a lot of fans of the band on this channel. So and that was they watch this show. So I think for folks who are maybe looking to plug some holes into their pentagram collection, maybe they're missing some stuff. Ken's gonna have a good bunch
Yeah,
of.
so the new album, I've got like pretty good quantity on that. The reissues, I took it light, but I could always restock. I have to bring them in from England, but I get a good deal on them. So there's a lot of good stuff on the horizon. I got a lot of stuff this week. So
Cool.
yeah,
All
ready to
right.
start?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. Hopefully I don't screw this up. Let's go. Let's do the pre-orders first. This is one of our releases, Eden Song, Our Road to Dust, New York-based band. We put out their last album in 2016. So this is coming out May 9th. It's basically like a reconstituted version of the band. It's the core sound is the same. Perhaps they got a little heavier, but that's good prog rock. So yeah, and I know they're going to be playing some shows, and yeah, scene song, flute, guitar, keys, it's good stuff. Next,
I don't know if you saw before you go on to the next one. I don't know if you saw, but I gave you a shout out this morning. I reviewed the new Sailor Free, and I
oh,
completely forgot that you released their second album like a million years, like 30
that's
years
right,
ago.
that's right. Michael Bennett did the cover for that one,
Yeah,
so
yeah. I didn't even know that they were back making music again. They've just like their third album they released in the last decade. I was like, and they sent it to me out of the blue, and I was like, Sailor Free. Is that the band that
uh,
Ken did like way back when? I'm like, holy
yeah.
crap. Yeah.
So I don't know if people know this, but for about 5 minutes, I I was a co-owner of a label called The Labyrinth, and The Labyrinth was me and Marco Melzi, who used to be one of the owners of Vinyl Magic. People know Vinyl Magic, I think, because they were around for many years. It was a shop and a label, and then it evolved into BTF, which is still going. We're going to be, doing some of the stuff. I think today I may have a BTF release to mention. And we decided, Marco and I are good friends, and we decided to do something together. And we did four releases together, if I remember correctly. We did Il Trono dei Ricordi,
Yep.
one and only album by Il Trono dei Ricordi. Michael Bennett did a beautiful cover for that.
Oh yeah.
I did a reissue of Canadian prog hard rock band Jackal called Awake. That was from an album from 1973. We did a Paul Chain. Oh, we did Sailor Free, of course.
Yep.
We did the Sailor Free album. And then Marco is involved with Paul Chain. Are you familiar with Paul Chain?
Yep.
He's crazy. Paul Chain sounds like absolutely insane. And Marco also owns the Minotauro label from Italy.
Okay.
And he's does like all of Paul Chain stuff. So we put out a Paul Chain live in concert, and I think we finally sold off like the last Paul Chain. I'm not sure. I know we sold the last Jackal recently because somebody ordered a copy on Discogs. We couldn't find any booklets. I had them. I had the trade cards. I had the CDs. I didn't have any booklets, so I just sent it to the guy for free. And yeah, if I still have them, if anybody wants a Jackal Awake, if we still have them, we didn't toss them. If you put in the customer notes, send me a Jackal. I'll send you a Jackal and a tray card. They were. I don't know if you remember that album, but that was a great,
I don't think I ever heard it. No.
fantastic heavy organ guitar. Pete, if I find one, I'll send you one without a cover.
Okay.
So
All right.
it was great, and we did it from the master tapes, the original master tapes, and it was cool. But anyway, so
Yeah, I missed that. Yeah, that sounds good.
Marco and I, we only did the four releases, and it was just too difficult, So, but Sailor Free was cool. David Petrosino,
Yep.
very,
Yep.
very, very nice guy, super nice guy. And then I think we carried their last one. I think David like came out of nowhere and he said, "Hey, we have a new album." I'm like, yeah, "Okay, I'll bring it in." So, and I remember
Sounds good.
the guitarist, he would go by the name of The Hook.
Yes. Yes.
So it was his answer to The Edge.
Yeah.
So it was The Hook.
It's a
Okay.
good album. It's very Porcupine Tree
Oh,
Riverside.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed the one that we did. It didn't do much, but whatever. You never know. You roll the dice on these things.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So you roll the dice on the Eden song. You hope people are going to buy it. Haven't made an album since 2016, so it's almost like they're starting fresh. So very, very good band, and they played at Rossfest, Southern Rossfest, and they played around New York. I saw them in some bar in on the east side of Manhattan, in the Lower East Side, Alphabet City, I think. Anyway, I digress. One other pre-order we have for the week. The new one from Glass Hammer. It's called Rogue, and that is April 11th. And Steve Babs, he shuffled the deck again. Some different people on here. I'm pretty sure Fred Schendel's on this one.
Yeah, I think
And
it was. Yeah.
yeah, and Yeah, he said, yeah, he told me April 11th for that one. So that's what I got for pre-orders. Next thing we got. Now let's get into the regular CDs. The new one from Avantasia, Here Be Dragon. So we had copies of this sold out. I think this is the first time I'm actually mentioning it. So it just kind of, it's one of those releases that they just came in, blew right out. There was no point in putting it in an update, and then they just showed up, so we have them. So this Tobias Sammet from Egg Guy. This is his mega metal opera thing. I just
This is
picked
his
up on it.
Aeon base, basically.
Yeah, like a more even more metal, like a power metal version.
Yeah.
He's got Adrian Cowan from Seven Spires on vocals, Bob Catley, who else? Jeff Tate's on there, Herbie Langens, who's from and he's what? Herbie Langens what? Evergrey, Pain of Salvation, I forget. Um, Michael Kiska's on here, Ronnie Atkins, Khan is on here, Tommy Karavik from Camelot. So
Wow, Tommy and Connor both on the same album.
yeah,
Kind of cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was conversing with Simon and Steven this morning, and Simon got this, and he said it's great. So I'm like, I haven't listened to an Avantasia album in years. So
Herbie Langens. He's from Firewind, Alex Barrett's Voodoo Circle. For some reason, I thought he was in. He was in. He looks like he's been on a lot. He's been on like Rhapsody of Fire, Mob Rules. He's been on all kinds of
play
shit.
with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So that's that. So all right. On to the next. The next thing. This was a real surprise. A new one from Banco, Banco del Mucho Soccorso, story Invisibility. So everybody knows Banco. Vittorio Nicenzi, the great keyboard player from Banco, he resurrected the band some years ago, and they were signed to Inside Out. They did two very good albums on Inside Out, and this one is supposed to be the third part of it of the trilogy. And they're on a label, Italian label I've never heard of, so they're not no longer on Inside Out.
Hmm.
Uh, and yeah, so
Strange that the label wouldn't continue on with them to finish the trilogy, or maybe the first two just didn't sell all that much, you know.
my I never discussed it with anybody at the label. My assumption is that Banco and PFM were signed primarily be, for for the Italian market. I mean, those albums came out here, and at least I think the Trans-Siberiana, the first Banco that Inside Out did come out in the U.S. Orlando, the last one, I don't remember if it did or not, but it was released, of course. And PFM, the two albums that PFM did were released in the U.S. But I think the real focus that's my guess, probably for Italy, maybe Japan. And so this one is no longer, they're no longer with Inside Out. And it's, don't expect Yo Sono Nato Libero. It's Banco, but it's a contemporary version of Banco. And Nocenzi's playing is still brilliant. And yeah, so it's Banco with a modern twist. Uh, of course, a new vocalist. Um, so there you go. We got it. We got it. Next thing. And this is like Avantasia, Brainstorm Plague of Rats. So we had it and they just disappeared before we could even mention it. It wasn't even worth mentioning in the update. So German power metal, been around forever. Yeah, you a fan?
I love them. I didn't even know that was coming out. What label is that on?
Uh, I Napalm.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's Napalm.
pull
They
it
were.
aside for me. I had no idea that was even coming out. I'll take one of those.
Oh, it's been out for weeks. So that
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't even know if maybe it's sitting in my inbox, like the digital. I don't.
I don't know. They were with, as if I'm doing this from memory, they were with Metal Blade for a while.
Oh yeah, yeah. They definitely were. Yeah.
So yeah, so this was just like the Avantasia. We had them, and then it's time for you and I to do an update, and it's like I have like two copies sitting here. It's not even worth mentioning. So we just got it back. All right, let's get into something freaky. I mentioned this the other day. Food Brain, social gathering. So Food Brain, they were a one and done Japanese supergroup, early 70s. You have Hiro Sanuda, who was the drummer in Flight Egg and Strawberry Path. Hiro Yanagita, the great Japanese keyboard player. You got Masayoshi Kabe, who was from Speed Glue and Shinky. And of course, you wouldn't have Food Brain without Shinky Chen. So you got Shinky, you got the Shink Man on guitar, and it's a fucking crazy album. It's psychedelic, it's hard rock. There's like long tracks. There's parts on here where you're like, what the hell is it? So yeah. Did you get to it yet?
I listened to half of it last night. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was the Japanese Hendrix. So yeah. So this is one of the real rarities, and inexpensive, and it's a crazy album. I mean, there are parts of it that are brilliant, and there are parts of it where you're going to be scratching your head like, what the hell was that? So, not expensive, so worth a roll of the dice. Might blow you away. If you like the Shinky Chen album, if you bought it from us and you like the Shinky Chen album, this could be worth a shot. Or
Yeah,
especially
I'm
like,
probably gonna have to take a shot on that.
yeah, especially yeah, like if you like the Speed Glue and Shinky stuff, it's pretty cool. It's an absolutely crazy album. I mean, it's got the elephant on the cover. It's like, why? So supposedly, and the story is supposedly the band is called Food Brain because Shinky screwed up and he meant to call it Brain Food, but I guess maybe his English wasn't so good and it came out Food Brain.
Yeah, Food Brain is strange.
Makes no sense, right? Like the album. So yeah. So there you go. So we got that. Next, yeah, you've heard of these guys. Jethro Tull, Curious Ruminant. We have the CD. We have the 2 CD Blu-ray art book, and we have the box set, which has vinyl. It has the art book. It has, I think, the CD. I think it has art prints. So we don't have too many of those left. So and they could be gone. I'm not sure. But Jim, what do we have? Like 6 left or something like that? 5, yeah, something like that. So expensive, but there you go. Next, Kayak, Back to Shore, the 2022 Farewell Tour. Ton Scherpenzeel, guy who reportedly has fear of flying. That's why Kayak has never played in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
That's always been the story. True or false, I don't know, but that's always what I've heard. So they never played in the U.S. And so could be bullshit. I don't know. Maybe they never got invited. I don't know. Anyway, this is supposedly the farewell tour, and it's a 2 CD DVD live set. Okay, Gleb Kolyadin, Mobula. So he is one half of I Am the Morning, a band he shares with Marjana Semkina, and I don't know. I think he's Ukrainian. I don't know that he's Russian or Ukrainian, but I think Ukrainian. Like a brilliant keyboard player, and they're on. He's on K-Scope, and beautiful stuff. It's kind of laid back, but really very very nice keyboard driven proggy stuff. This one, I don't know if I'll call this a buy or die. I might call this a buy or die because I love this band. New one from Nuova Era.
Wow,
And
heard that name.
and you remember them, right?
Yeah.
So it's got an Italian title which translates as 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Concept album has kind of a funny cover if you look at
Yes.
that. That cover like kind of silly, right? These guys have been around since 1988, and I've sold all of their releases, and they were, if not my favorite, certainly one of my favorite Italian bands doing what they call progressivo Italiano. So if you like classic 70s Italian prog, this band is dead on. They're great. Walter Pini is the keyboard player, and I think they're awesome. This has got like it's got a 32-minute track, opens with a 32-minute track, and then a 16-minute bonus track, which is not on the LP. That's why it's bonus track. And it's great. And I think the 16-minute track is called Nautilus, and I think it's a track that Pini wrote when he was like 17 years old or something like that. Anyway, the whole album's great. So it sounds like Nuova Era, And like I said, as far as all these bands, there are a lot of great ones. La Machère de Serra come to mind, all kinds. These guys, I love Noir. So so this came out of left field, especially with that goofy cover, but I like it. It's good. So all right, next we got some metal for you. I don't know what it means, but the name of the band is Risen Crow. Female female fronted metal. Apparently, females get insulted when you call it female fronted metal, but that's what it is. It's female fronted metal. It's supposedly this. I haven't heard this, but it's supposedly it's kind of a blending of gothic and power metal that can be compared to Nightwish and Within Temptation, that sort of thing. Another one from the same label, Serpentine, Tales from the Dark, kind of the same deal. The singer is Maggie Beth Sand. Jim, do you know anything about Serpentine? Are they American or English, or you don't remember where they're from? I don't know where they're from, but the lead singer, her name is Maggie Beth Sand. All right, now over on Scarlet Records, we have power metal, the Seventh Guild, of which I know absolutely nothing. And then we have Twins Crew, Chapter 4. Twins Crew, I know we've sold in the past. Again, power metal. My assumption is they're Italian power metal.
Serpentine is from the UK.
UK.
Yep.
I was going to guess that based on not her name, but the other guys in the band, the men that are in the band. They had sort of formal English names.
Says
So,
for fans of Nightwish, Within Temptation, and Eloise, their sound is dynamic with orchestral arrangements and powerful vocals. Symphonic meets modern metal.
is that how you pronounce it? Eloise?
I used to say Eluvati, but
That's how
Keela
that's
tells me it's Eloise. I don't know. I don't know how
I
to.
pronounce it Lugati. That's
Yeah,
how I
that's how I
pronounce it.
always said it. But Keeler's always like, no, it's Eloise. I'm like, okay.
Oh, okay, there you go. We learned something. So here's a surprise. This is an album that everybody knows, but it's been out of print in the US for many, many years. Kazumi Watanabe, The Spice of Life. Still in print in Japan. The trio, the great Japanese fusion guitar player, it's him, Jeff Berlin on bass, and Bill Bruford on drums. He's playing Bill's playing electronic drums and he's playing regular kit. And it's great.
Yeah, I have it here in front of me somewhere. It's on my stack in front of me. But yeah, it is great. I like both of those actually.
Yeah, there's The Spice of Life too,
Yeah,
too that
he's so good, man. Kazumi's so good.
yeah, I was thinking about stuff to bring in from Japan, and this kind of came to mind, and sure enough, it was there, not super expensive, and our pile is dwindling, so hopefully we'll have some by the time this airs. If not, I'll try and restock it. So I mentioned before Vinyl Magic, the Italian Vinyl Magic label. So Vinyl Magic evolved into BTF. And a lot of the old Italian prog albums that Vinyl Magic had put out on CD uh, got reissued years later by BTF in the mini LP sleeves. So that a lot of these titles have gone out of print. So they're now reissuing them just as they were back in the jewel cases. So we've got four classic. This is one of the second or third batch that they've done. So here's what we got. We got Delirium, Dolce Aqua, which was the first Delirium album, great album with Ivano Fossati. Flute, as you can even see on the cover, very much flute-driven rock.
Can't miss that.
Can't miss that, right? And Delirium they were underrated. I mean, they put out three killer albums, and they were really pretty great. They were, I don't want to say like Jethro Tull, but they were good. They were good. Next band, we got Flea. This was the second by the band. They started out as Flea on the Honey. They were kind of like a beat psych band. Then they became Flea, little more Deep Purple influence, more of like a hard rock prog sound. And then they evolved into Etna. They changed their name to Etna, and they became a jazz rock outfit.
The end stuff's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Next, we got this. This is what the first, I forget Garibaldi made two classics. I mean, they made albums years later, but Astrolabio, uh, uh, um, Bombi Fossati is the guitar player. He was the Italian Hendrix. And they had two albums, Nuda and Astrolabio. I think Nuda came before this. And Astrolabio is, boy, if they marketed it as something new today, you would call it like stoner rock or something like that. I haven't listened to this in a long time, but I remember it having like I think a sidelong track and a lot of instrumental parts and uh, and he's going crazy on the album. It's one of the good ones. New Trolls, Searching for a Land, great band that kind of went through many different phases, splintered into two different bands. Searching for Land, I guess they were trying for maybe the U.S. market, although it was never released in the U.S. This is the album where they sing in English, and so you got that, and it was a good album. It wasn't their best, but it was a good album. Next one is a really good album, Il Paese dei Balocchi. So they were a one and done band, and they just had that classic Italian prog sound, that RPI thing going on. Very good. Again, if you're a PFM, Bonco fan, Bolavecchia Loconda, any of those bands, you'll dig this one. It's really good. Let me just run through some restocks. We got Shinky Chen back, Shinky Chen and his friends. We got Flower Traveling Band, Satori back in. Uh, Masabumi Kikuchi and Gil Evans. If you don't have that,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good album. And I got to point out, like a lot of the stuff, like the East Wind titles, um, and the Three Blind Mice titles, they're basically gone. They're out of print. Like, I can't get those East Wind titles anymore. I kept getting them week after week, or every, I shouldn't say week after week. It's a lie. I used to be able to restock them. They're gone. I've been told.
That's
They're
it,
gone.
huh? No more,
Yeah.
huh?
If you don't have them, I mean, well, you know what'll happen? 2, 3 years from now, they'll do it again. But they'll be, yeah. So the Kikuchi and Gil Evans, brilliant album, and I don't know that I could get it again. So now the next one, I highly recommend this. We had this a while back, and I kind of forgot about it, and I decided to restock it. And I don't know if we'll be able to get more beyond this. This is Kenji Mori Quartet, Firebird. Now this was on the Three Blind Mice label, and Kenji Mori, he's primarily playing flute and if I remember, sax, and it's got Kazumi Watanabe on it. And Kazumi, like out of the gate, Kazumi's like going crazy on this album. He's totally running wild on this one. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's a good one. I would second that. Pick it up if you can, folks.
Yeah, I mean, it was when I had that first batch of Three Blind Mice stuff. It was quite a while back, and this was in there. And then I said, let's give it a shot now. So different audience. Got back Riverside Live ID, the 2 CD Blu-ray back in stock. Now let's run through the vinyl real quick. From BTF, they reissued Agora Live in Montreux. So Agora were an excellent Italian jazz rock band, kind of like Weather Report, Parigio, in that vein. And in 1975, somehow, without an album, they got invited to play at the Montreux Jazz Festival. This is their first live album, is their first album. And then they made a subsequent album. And then many years later, they reformed and put out a studio album. But Agora, very good band. Let's see, next. We got in Bonko, as I mentioned before. Flea got repressed, Topi O Omini. This one's on red vinyl. We got Jethro Tull. We've got Gleb Kolyadin. We've got the Nuova Era on, is this on colored vinyl? No, this is not on colored vinyl. And this is kind of important. Music on Vinyl, the Dutch label, they have reissued Super Sister catalog on vinyl. So all on clear vinyl. So we have Present from Nancy. We have To the Highest Bidder. We have Puddin' and Gisterin. We have Iskander, and we have Spiral Staircase. So Super Sister, one of the greatest of all Dutch prog bands, very, very much Canterbury-ish. So they were kind of like there's there's a little bit of a Zappa influence in there also. So if you're a fan of like Hatfield and North, National Health, I mean, good players. So and like I say, Zappa, there was a real quirky quality to these guys, led by R.J. Stipes, and so they now got a new lease on life on clear vinyl. And now I just got a little bit of cheap shit. We got some incredible, we've got some incredible cheap shit coming in that shipment I was talking about that got delayed. So we're gonna have some really cool stuff in the next week or two. But got four quickies. These are all Scottish bands. Stephen Reed, I hope you're paying attention. So we've got Abel Gans, Gratuitous Flash. They were very good English, well, Scottish neo prog band, one of the original neo prog bands. This got new art. This got new artwork and remastered.
Love the
20.
cover.
This is the 2016 uh, uh, reissue remaster. A more current band from one or two of the members of Abel Gans, band called Grand Tour, Clocks That Tick But Never Talk.
Oh, I remember those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and Heavy on the Beach. These are good albums. I mean, they're if you're into the neo prog thing, quite good. And then also this is a current band, Long Earth, called The Source. This is one of their older titles. They should have a new album that came out last summer. We never had. We ordered copies and there was a misship. So probably next week we'll have their current album. But again, it's so along those lines, very melodic prog and sort of, Marillion-esque. Is that a word, Marillion-esque? It
Yeah.
just word. And yeah, that. And if you're a fan of like Abel Gans and the whole neo prog thing, I think you like the more melodic side of English prog, Big Train even. I think you would like longer. So we got a little bit of this one left. There's another one which I'm going to throw up on the site, maybe today, maybe next week. We'll see. And then we have the new one coming in. That's what I got this week.
Cool. Some good stuff there.
Yeah,
Good stuff there.
yeah,
So,
a lot of stuff.
yeah, yeah, from all over the place, right? It's like,
Yeah, yeah. So
so
it's good.
we'll make sure that all the titles are in the comments below. It'll be pinned at the top, easy to find. Lasercd.com is the URL. Copy and paste to your heart's content. And happy shopping, everybody. And remember,
Buy a lot, buy often.
yeah,
Particularly, I'm going to say, particularly for one reason. I got the bill for the freight for sending out all those dream theaters. So please buy a lot, buy really often.
the curse of Dream Theater, right? It's good.
Oh, the shipping. I got, I got the invoice on all the postage. Oh my God, it was brutal.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it's a lot of orders, right? How many hundreds were there in total, or was it over 1,000?
No, we're doing it that, but altogether, we're somewhere under like 700, and we were getting close to 700.
That's a lot. Yeah.
They at the moment, the CD's out of stock. We don't
Wow.
have it, and the Orchard, which is the distributor, the Inside Out's distributor here, they don't have stock. So I'm just waiting for a repress.
So you have nothing left at all.
Um, we had nothing, right? Yeah, everything's sold
Yeah, I
out.
think last week or the
Oh,
week before
vinyl.
you had a couple of media books, and that was it, I
I
think.
think I may have some of the ultra clear vinyl. I may have.
Okay.
No, Jim says we don't.
No.
We got nothing. We're nothing.
It sold
Shit.
pretty well. I wonder, I haven't read or heard anything, but I wonder how many like physical copies they moved since that went on sale. It's
Yeah, I think it did quite well.
yeah, cool. God, the show's coming up in just a couple, like 2 weeks.
You going? Where are you seeing them?
Radio City.
Really?
That's like right around the corner. That's like 2 weeks. Wow.
Have they changed the set at all?
Well, I was looking like a week or two ago at like a couple of consecutive shows, and it's not a drastic overhaul of the set from night to night, but it is different. Like they're changing up like 2 to 4 songs every night, which
Right, well,
is
that's it.
really cool because they haven't done that in years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool.
So yeah, so like, I guess depending on what city they're in, they'll play like special songs and whatnot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying not to pay too much attention to that. I just want to go and because it's one thing if every show is exactly the same. You can go on, you know what to expect, but it's to get all hung up on what they're playing and from night to night to night, and then kind of thinking what you're going to get.
You have good
That's more
seats?
than I want to invest at this point.
You have good seats?
Uh Honestly, I don't know. My brother got them, so I think they're decent. I don't know where. I think they're
I,
like lower orchestra or something like that. I don't know. They're decent.
I think the
Could be good.
I think the last show I saw at Radio City was like it's like Roger Waters with Eric Clapton.
You didn't go to the King Crimson show when they played there a few years ago? The 50th
Oh,
anniversary?
because I saw him in Philly.
Oh, you went to the Philly show.
You
Okay.
know, I saw, yeah, they played the Met. I saw him at the Met.
Oh, the Crimson show at Radio City was glorious. It was really good. Really good.
It's a beautiful theater.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Not my favorite for sound, but it's a beautiful theater.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a ton of shows there, but I've seen this will be, I think, the third time I've seen Dream Theater there. But I've seen Yes there, I've seen King Crimson there, I've seen Black Sabbath there, or Heaven and Hell as it
Heaven
was.
and Hell, right?
I've seen Iron Maiden there. Not much more than that, I don't think. Not every band gets to play there. So
No, it's kind of a strange. It's sort of like a fish out of water as far as the size of it holds a lot of people.
yeah, it's like 8 or 10,000 or something like that.
No, I was going to guess like 6,000 or so, but
No, you could be right.
like, but most cities, large cities, don't have theaters that hold 6,000.
And it's like
Philly,
it's all
it's
the
yeah,
it's not like a lot of
and
floor seats. It's like what, 4 levels in this place? That's
yeah,
crazy.
Philly doesn't have anything. Never did, as far as I know, that it holds that many people. 3,000 or so, which is still pretty big. Pretty
Yeah.
big amount of people. Um, yeah, I can't think of any. 6,000, 8,000. We're talking about how many cities have that? Maybe out in LA. I don't know.
Yeah, not within the city, right? Unless you're talking about a hockey, basketball, or
Yeah,
football or baseball, arena or stadium, right? Yeah, there's something like this you don't see too often.
good
Yeah,
for them.
it's cool. It'll
It's
be
good.
fun.
Good. I'm sure you have a good night.
Yeah. So, for those of you who are watching, who are going to be at Dream Theater at Radio City Music Hall in 2 weeks, come find myself, my brother, and Rick Labonte will be there. I'm sure many other people will be there, and be on the lookout for us hanging around at Radio City that night. So it'll be fun. Should be a good time. So
You
anyway,
want to find, if you want to find Pete, just go to the nearest pizza place.
yes,
Near it is. You'll find him.
we're already discussing where we're going to be going beforehand. Yeah, in fact, I just had this conversation with Rich Catino the other day because he's going to be there as well, and he's like, "Oh, where are we going beforehand?" I'm like, "To be determined. Don't worry. We'll find a place that either has good pizza or a place that has some good cold beer, or maybe the both. So we'll see.
You'll find it. You'll
We'll
find
figure it out."
it. Yeah.
So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together, all the
All
damn
day.
time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. For Ken Golden, I'm Pete Pardo. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Tune in just a couple hours for Fusion Fridays coming at you tonight. We've got the UK Connection tomorrow and ranking the albums on Sunday and in the prog seat on Tuesday. So a lot of cool stuff happening over the next couple days. And we'll see you then for Ken Golden. I'm Pete Pardo. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.